There's no end in sight today, and there will be no victory laps, and it's our new normal for the foreseeable future. I really want to ask people to get their heads around that. Wear a mask, wash your hands, physically distance, and stay at home. If you take these on as patriotic duties.
Our top story tonight at 5, Governor Ducey says while this is, yes, our new normal, Arizona is finally starting to see some better numbers. A quick headline breakdown for you from today's briefing. The governor says we are finally trending in the right direction. The number of people testing positive, while still high, has been dropping for the past 5 straight days. Bars, gyms, and water parks will stay closed. The state is ramping up testing and will start handing out free face masks to the most vulnerable across Arizona. Right now, the biggest announcement from today's briefing, that moratorium on evictions is now being extended through at least the end of October, Jared.
That was supposed to expire soon, but this will keep thousands of Arizonans who are unable to pay the rent right now from being kicked out of their homes or their apartments. Dennis Welch was at the briefing today, and Dennis, a lot of parents and teachers were probably hoping for some guidance on the upcoming school year.
Yeah, that was the other piece of news, really non-news in this case, when it came to schools reopening, as the governor telling parents, teachers, school administrators here to just really stand by right now. No movement now on reopening those schools, which he had set that aspirational date in mid-August at this point, but he did say he's going to continue to work with State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman on the issues. And as you mentioned just a minute ago, that the governor also spent a good deal of this press conference presenting more evidence that the spread of the virus is starting to slow. Now, he cited a data point that measures the rate of spread. It's called an R0. Now, last month, that measurement showed that the virus was spreading quickly and that Arizona does not want to see that again. However, when you look back into the data on May 15th, when he lifted his stay-at-home order, that same number showed the coronavirus was spreading just as rapidly at that time when he lifted that order. So I asked him if he made a mistake in reopening at that time, given the fact that he says that this is a crucial piece of evidence and that he makes his decisions based on data and science. Follow up here about the R0. You said that this is a metric to watch, and as an example, you used where that was at June 29th at 1.18. This is an example of, you said, where you don't want the state to be. The R0 was at 1.18 on May 15th, yet you opened up the state anyway. Why did you do that, considering that this is a metric that you are now saying is something to watch?
Well, it's something that you have to watch. I mean, and the metrics move, and we did not have the spike in cases that we have today on May 15th. And in hindsight, everything is crystal clear.
I also want to mention, too, that I got a chance to ask the governor if he was happy with the way his staff has been giving him information, given how this response has turned out so far. And he told me that he has 100% full confidence in his staff at this point, and he doesn't see the need for any kind of shakeup or any changes right now. In Phoenix, Dennis Welch, Arizona's Family.
Dennis, speaking of May 15th, at the time, people thought the governor felt pressure from the White House to reopen our state. And hindsight, as he says, is 2020. Perhaps that was too soon, or we opened without proper restrictions in place. So he was asked today if he now feels pressure from the White House to reopen our schools. How did he respond to that?
Well, he says he's going to be his own person out there. You know, I've covered a lot of governors, a lot of politicians. They all like to say that, but there is a lot of pressure coming from the White House. But the governor's saying right now that he's not really feeling kind of that at this point, that he's going to be making his own decisions moving forward here into the future in terms of reopening schools. And I can tell you that there's also a lot of pressure on governors across the country and people across the country to even start getting people back to school, as that does tie into the economy. A lot of people say that you can't really reboot the economy, get it running up and running again until kids are at school and parents then can free them up to go back to work. Jared?
Yep, and he said he would feel totally comfortable sending his kids back to school. He seemed prepared for that question there today, Dennis. Thanks so much, Dennis. Appreciate it.